Hey, I'm Jay, and I've got something to say about miniatures and board games. Just a quick status update. I don't have anything to show. I'm behind. I still owe you guys a Archon Studio Dungeons and Lasers Deuce Lair Sea and Thunder preview. I haven't assembled those yet, so not really a whole lot to show. I have traded a few things away, but I owe you that. Dungeons and Lasers Caves has started shipping for the unpainted pledges and no 5e compatible splat books. So the hardcover books and the pre-painted are yet to come on that, and I have a pre-painted pledge, and I might not even open the core set. Some of the stretch goals will be pre-painted, and then I'm going to try to sell the core set in shrink, pre-painted. So right now you can still order stuff through GameFound, because the way the pledge manager works, it never really closes. It's not like a hard cutoff, and because they're making everything except for the books, they're not going to run out. So like Reaper, if you forget to close your pledge, the Chinese factory doesn't send them the right quantities that they ordered. They even had some last year where people closed their pledge early, like big backers closed their pledge early, and they ran out of some of the stuff and they never got it. Like the Bones 5 Ravenholm set was one of those. Like they just, like the factory just didn't send them what they ordered, and so they didn't have enough to fulfill, and they just, the people, once they ran out, and people were out of luck. So there's that. But Archon's making all their own stuff, so they just make some extra copies. Like they want to make extra copies for their storefront for retail. They'll just make extra copies before they do the retail packaging. So you might be at the end, you might not. If it's an easy pledge, if it's an easy order, they might just do it. But you can actually still pledge caves through GameFound. They haven't like disabled the pledge manager yet. I've ordered some stuff like after fulfillment and still got, like I had a 3D printed gates where you drop the doors in the top, so you can change what kind of door is in there. There's like an arcane portal, like a portcullis and stuff. I found that on GameFound. I pledged it. I got like 6 weeks later I got it, and they were like, hey, sorry, we forgot to close the pledge manager, here's your stuff anyway. Like, that's the way GameFound works. So you can still get in on Caves. I don't think Port Haven Pledge Manager is open yet, but you can go look at Port Haven on GameFound. And then Reaper Bone 6 fulfilled last year. They finally finished up some of the like extraneous European stuff. I guess there was a lot of headache in the UK about redistributing. I haven't even heard anybody complain from Australia this year on that one. Reaper Miniatures, if you're not following them on Twitch, or their Twitter and Facebook is pretty bad, but if you're not following them on Twitch or Discord, they have what they call Reaper Challenge League. Their Twitch live streams every other Thursday, they give away $20 gift cards. And they give away like one gift card per 20 people on the stream. They give away like 4 rounds of 5. So what does that come out to? $400 worth of gift cards they give out every other week. So between that, I've got $40 in streaming giveaway gift cards, and I have $40 from this Reaper Challenge League, where you paint specific categories and submit pictures, and then they give you points. And then I've got another like $30 or $40 pending that I can turn into gift cards when I need to put in an order. And so like I would value the quality on Reaper's gotten a lot better, right? So like I would pay $1 for one of the white rubbery ones. If I was looking for something specific, I might pay $3 for a nice, a newer Bones Black, or 3D printed, or Siocast. I might pay $3 for a nice Reaper Mini if it's something that I'm very specifically looking for. But generally I'm trying to look for stuff that's under $1. but with the Reaper Challenge League, it's free. I'm painting anyway. I can use those dollars on paint that I can't get like $1 a bottle. So every time I order, I get maybe 2 bottles of paint, fill out my collection a little bit more, or refill on stuff. Again, the way that works is there's different categories. So monthly, you can get about 15, 20, 25 points by doing like a monster, a player character, a new release. So anything that's been released through their retail site this calendar year. And right now, they've put up all of their old stock, or all the overstock of Bone 6 sets on the website for sale. So, I mean, I wouldn't pay $230 for a Bone set, but they're up for sale, so all that stuff counts as new release. So all the stuff I got last October now counts as new release. So I can get 5 points for every miniature that doesn't fit in another category because it's a new release. Until they take them back down, and then they'll be probably releasing the individual models if they have enough stock of them. I don't know if they're going to be getting anything from China anytime soon. They're switching a lot to 3D printing and Siocast. So let me finish Reaper Challenge League. Reaper Challenge League, you paint stuff, you submit a picture, and you tag it with what the model name and Reaper SKU number is. So like George Bronzebeard, Dwarf Fighter, SKU 05232. I'm making up numbers. That's not how, that's not a real model, but, and you post a picture. And then they have groups, so you get more points if you paint with a pair. If 2 people paint the same model and submit it together, more points if you paint 3 people and submit it together. More points if you do a large group every quarter. They have a quarterly category, so your large models, your big dragons, giants, ogres, whatever, those are per quarter instead of per month. You get more points for a large model because it takes more work. You get more points for painting in a large group, so more than 4 people. So everybody starts, just categories they're interested in. So there seems to always be a dragon category. There was a aquatic category. There's sometimes like woodland creatures. Sometimes it'll be like den of thieves, and it'll be gamblers, rogues, and anybody that's thief-like. This one I'm doing a group. This quarter I'm doing a group by a specific sculptor, Bobby Jackson or Jason Weeby, which are some of their more. I'd say those 2 and Rudolphi are probably their most common their most plentiful sculptors. The sculptors that have done the most work for them over the years. I would say those 3 are probably on the high end. Right now, Reaper's releasing a lot of Warner Clock freebooters. So technically, if you have a freebooter metal model, that counts as a new release because they are releasing it in the same sculpt in plastic. So you don't have to have you don't have to have the new release from Reaper. You just have to have the same sculpt from some other period of time. So like if you have a classic Bones White, and they've redone it in Bones Black and then redid it in Siocast resin, you can paint the Bones White version because the Siocast resin one just came out. Like that's fine. It's just the same sculpt. They even had one. They had they do a challenge. They do a painting competition where people vote, and they had one where they had a lich, and the lich was different because the metal version had a gem in his hand, and all the other ones had open hands. All the plastic versions had open hands, so there were like different models in the same competition. It was supposed to be the same sculpt. They just like something went wrong on the mold, and they fixed it by doing something, and the master didn't have that, something like that. So anyhow, you earn points. You can trade 75 points in for a $10 gift card, and you can do that for as many points as you have. And you can do that right now. They have it at any time. You used to only be able to do that like at the end of a quarter. But now you can do it whenever. And you know, it's probably within a week they'll respond to you. It's not like instant. It's not like I have 150 points. I trade 140 of them in for $20 and I use it on the website the same day. It takes it's a manual process. It's still a couple of people that have other day jobs at Reaper handling all that stuff. But it's a free way to get paint minis. The only thing is you have to be painting Reaper minis. So if you have an old Reaper Kickstarter that you haven't painted yet, get Discord. It runs in the web browser. You don't even have to download an app. Get on Discord. So start submitting stuff for the Reaper Challenge League. It's just attached to your Discord account. So you don't have to create a Challenge League account or anything. All you have to do is get on Discord, join the Reaper Discord channel, and read the rules and start submitting pictures of stuff that you paint. I guarantee if you're painting a Reaper model, they have a quarterly large freebie and a monthly freebie that can be non-Reaper models, and terrain can be non-Reaper, but those aren't worth as many points as the Reaper stuff because they want to encourage Reaper. So if you have an old Reaper Kickstarter, I guarantee whatever you paint, you can find a category for it, because there's player characters, monsters, seasonal themes, group categories, people that you can group paint with. I guarantee that there's some category that qualifies every time you paint a Reaper model, unless you're painting an army all in the same month. So if you're not doing that, get on that. It's just free marketing money that they're giving away, and there's maybe 100 people actually doing it. It gets a little crazy at the end of the midnight before the end of a quarter, and it gets really crazy at the end of the year. As far as tallying points and stuff, but do that. I haven't been really following Kickstarter board games. They tend to be very bloated. I was really interested in Master of Orion Ad Astra by Archon Studios, and I just saw pictures, and that thing is humongous. The core box, you don't have to, not a stretch goal, not you buy an upgrade box to put your other stuff in. The core box has drawers because it's so big. I've only seen that in the all-in, this is how you store all of your expansions in the same box. You get a special extra box, Sentinels of the Multiverse had that. You could buy a chest-sized box that had drawers for every single set and organization and stuff. So this Master of Orion has a drawer for every faction and all 6 factions, and then a third layer or fourth layer for all the other components. It's massive. I'm glad I didn't back it. It's a good value. It was less than $200. It's a big game. I don't think they can make a cheaper version of it. I mean, I think I don't know how they're going to sell it at retail. They're going to have to sell it at $200 and then make money on the expansions. They're going to have to break even on the core set because it's humongous. It's insane. It's huge. It's big and complicated. Space opera. I guess technically it's 4X. But man, it's a big complicated. The only thing is that it's I don't think it's less complicated than Twilight Imperium, but it finishes faster. There's a timer, a certain number of turns. It's 3 rounds or something. So obviously the more people you have, a little bit longer it takes, but it's supposed to be 45 minutes to an hour and a half per game, and I guess it's pretty consistent. They did supposedly they did an okay job with that, but it's just too complicated. There was too much. I looked at the AI, if you wanted to play solo, you could play against an AI player, and it was 2 pages of flowcharts. It wasn't even flip over a card and it does the action, or here's the rules, it prioritizes movement over this or that. It was flowcharts. It was if this is the state, then check this, and it was 2 pages. it was insane. There was like a whole page for combat and a page for like its other actions that were non-combat. It was insane. They're coming out with a StarCraft skirmish game. So the only thing is it won't have resource management. It is strictly you start with an army and you fight the other army. I'm sure there will be goals instead of like just death wins. But again, Archon Studios Archon Studios is like the only company I'm following because they're already trying to move everything out of China. Do everything in-house, and they're really good, and they give you really good value, and they're a really nice company, and they're very transparent. So I've been watching a lot of other Kickstarters. Leviathan Wilds version 2. So basically there's a big flip book, and it's like a picture of the side or the head of a monster, and there's different locations all over its body, and you're climbing from location to location to like do things. That looked interesting. One of my friends is really big into like all the niche RPGs, solo RPGs, stuff like that. I did start playing Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion about a decade late, but we got through the first 2 scenarios and started setting up the 3rd scenario and realized we'd run out of time. And I'm going to play that almost like a little less than monthly, like every 6 weeks. So maybe I'll give you an update on that. So far, I like the card hand mechanic. Jaws of the Lion set up where the first 5 scenarios are basically tutorials, so like there wasn't really a challenge. The only thing I don't like is collecting loot. So like, you almost want to not have the last person kill the last monster or trigger the end of the scenario, because you want other people to have actions to move around and end on treasure piles or take loot actions. So that's a little frustrating. Like being the most efficient, be like, yes, I got a killing blow. Isn't necessarily the best thing. You almost want to make it last another round just to be able to collect the loot. So that I feel like that's harder than actually like completing the scenarios. As you add more cards, like your longevity like multiplies. Right. So for every card you have an extra turn per rest. For every 2 cards you have an extra turn per rest and an extra rest. So it compounds both ways as you add cards, because as you go along, you unlock stuff. You add more. You place some cards. You add some cards. So you eventually get more endurance that way in Gloomhaven. What else? Miniatures. I did pay the reduced price for Wildspire Fantasy Series 2, formerly Blacklist Games. What do they call it? Realms Reforged is what Wildspire is calling it, but it's Blacklist Fantasy Series 2. So we all got PDFs for Lasting Tales. I never got printed versions of that, so you're out of luck for there. But the miniatures, weirdly, they're selling the STLs. So they gave away the STLs to the previous backers. They're selling the STLs for this Kickstarter. It looks like the average pledge level is $100. So some people are going over because some people are getting the discounted or doing STLs. And they're at like 200,000. Wildspire seems to be able to do stuff with a much lower budget than anybody else. I'm not 100% sure how or why. I know they do have all the sculpts already done, so there's no artwork to do. There's just the molds and the manufacturing. But like $40,000 for an injection machine mold, and then $200,000 of like product that only gets you like 10 models, right? I don't know, 20 models out of their 96. I don't know how that's going to work. Because the way they do that, in case they have to repair a mold or destroy a mold, they only put one model. You'll have an injection mold that'll have 20 of the same model in it, and you won't put like one of each. So I don't know how Wildspire does it, but they seem to work off of a much lower budget. I mean, they had, you know, Kickstarters with 50 models in it that only got $100,000. So they've done it before, and they seem to be doing it again. So I'm part of an Amazon Vine review program, so I actually got everything except for the Mercenaries Guild already at for leaving a review. I owe tax on the value of it, but it's also like Wildspire stuff is dirt cheap. So basically, like, I'm gonna owe $30 tax on $100 worth of Fantasy Series 1 stuff that I got, and I paid $50 for Fantasy Series 2. So I'm still getting, what was it, 200 models for $80 on top of what I paid before. So what I paid before, I think I was looking at 60 cents a model, and now I'm adding another 50 cents a model. So I'm coming out to about the $1.25. For reference, the Reaper expansion sets were about $1.25, $1.30 a model for Bone 6. They're no longer 10 cents a model. So I still feel like I'm getting, like, I don't feel like I'm getting completely screwed over. Broken Anvil is another one that I will never see. But then, like I said, board games, I'm not really following board games a whole lot right now on Kickstarter or GameFound. My collection's pretty big. I don't have a lot of holes. I need a space exploration. I have Last Light on back order, so I just need to get enough to get free shipping or tell them to ship it. So I think that's my space exploration. I have some war games. I have some Warhammer starter sets. I have some, I forget what it's called. It's not Combat Patrol. But I have a Warhammer skirmish game. I have Wrath of Kings, because a few years ago that was all on huge discount. It was like $8 for a starter box on Miniature Market a bunch of years ago, and I can't even find it. I have everything except for the Shalhan, like celestial animals expansions, and the aquatic. I don't know, the aquatic faction. But I have a good bit of the Gruitsi Horror, the Guild, like Steampunk, and the Shalhan. I guess I got 2 of those. I have the red, I forget what they're called. I have the red faction with the Ashmen and like the demons, and I have like the Japanese like kimono guys with this like the dragon. So I have a couple other little things. Archon's supposed to be coming out with this couple of skirmish games pretty soon against StarCraft, and then also they're gonna have like a one hero versus like one hero type game coming up soon. So I have a lot of, like, I'm pretty set on war games. I'm not into 3D printing. I have like I don't know. I have games I like that I haven't played. So, and then a lot of stuff, it's cheaper at retail because like Kickstarter price is basically MSRP price, and then you add shipping on top of that. So if I can get, you know, a 20-30% discount at retail for something being on sale, that's a lot better than paying a Kickstarter price, even with the extras and stuff. Because the other thing is a lot of the times I'm not looking for a lifestyle game, so I'm not looking for all the extras. So I don't really feel the need to like get the Kickstarter versions of stuff. So that's where I am. This video is twice as long as I thought it was going to be. That's where I am. Keep a lookout. In the next couple months, I will have pre-painted caves, and I'll see if I can get, maybe I'll do a showcase of stuff I painted recently. I just actually spray paint. I finally clear coated it. The weather here has been real bad. Western Pennsylvania, the weather's been real wet and bad. So I just clear coated and put away a whole bunch of stuff that I had been painting since like October, because it was just cluttering up my basement, waiting to get clear coated. So finally put that away and organized it. So there's really not a lot left. But maybe I'll show you some of the big stuff. I have some dragons and stuff I'm gonna paint, and I need to get Demogorgon out, I think, at some point. But maybe I'll do a showcase of stuff I've painted. I'll definitely show you Caves Kickstarter when it gets here and I clip it. Probably when it gets here I'll do an unboxing, and then after I clip it I'll do a showcase. And I owe you Seam Thunder, and if there's any other board games that pop out and I'm like, hey, I've been paying attention to stuff, but look at this. There's a digital board game assistant called Tenebrew. So they started, they have a vampire game, Vampire the Masquerade game, and they have like a generic fantasy game. They are going to redo Tenaris Expeditions for the Tenebrew system. So that will be way expensive. It was like $400 for the digital assistant, and then the games on top of it. And there's only like 4 games. So it's nice to have a new game. But again, that's like a lifestyle game. That's something I don't feel like I need, because I'm never going to get it to the table, right? There's not like one thing where I'm like, this is the best thing ever, and I'm going to play nothing but this for like 2 years straight. So I don't, yeah. And I have games that could do that, right? I have 2 boxes of Sword and Sorcery. I have 2 boxes of Bard's Song. I have Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, which is going to take me a year, because I'm only doing it every few weeks. Lots of games that could be lifestyle games. I have a couple legacy games that I haven't opened or touched. So I will be looking for a discounted version of Ticket to Ride Great Western Trails, which is their legacy version of Ticket to Ride. I do want to get one of those for my collection. That's it, I think. Way too long video. Leave some comments. Let me know what you want me to talk about as far as miniatures industry, China tariffs, whatever. Thanks.